there we go. So how to test the design of a chatbot? It's like a tricky question, right? First of all, I'm Jésus Martín. As I've been presented, I'm a UX designer. That's my Twitter account. It's choose9000 because of the HAL 9000. I'm the one that is stopping you from going to for a beer right now. Okay, so you will need to wait for a while. Okay, and that's my company. It's Beeva. It's part of the BBVA group. We are a technology company for them. We play with all those technologies, and specifically, well, there's a company, Beeva.com. I'm working in the innovation department, which is labs.beeva.com. And what we do there is we play with new technologies, prototype some solutions, and try to share our knowledge to the rest of the company and to everybody, to the world mainly. Related to chatbots, we prototype, I've just put 8 of them, but nowadays there are more. Each one with different functionality, different use cases, and different usage of technologies. And as I said, we go all over the world talking about everything that we learn. And also we share it in internet. I don't know if any of you read this article. OK, great. It was quite popular. Thank you. It was quite popular. And yep, and I'm happy that you read it. Because I had to do all these things, I tested like, I don't know, hundreds of chatbots. And that's when I started this side project, which is called chatbottest.com. But first, before I start explaining how this project works, I think it's important to understand why this talk is important, at least for me and probably for you, because you are here. The first reason that I found after talking with many people and after designing my own chatbots is that we are still we are lacking of objectivity about the design of our chatbots and about the performance of our chatbots. I come from interface design and from advertising and so on, and there the reasons about the chatbot design were mainly likes or dislikes or loves or hates. Looked better in my computer, sorry. And it's funny because in this world of chatbot development and chatbot design, we are like really excited because we are doing things that kind of work. This is an example that we released a chatbot like a couple of weeks ago, and a colleague of us told us, okay, it's great. You nailed it, and now let's see if it works. So he was really excited because the chatbot was there, and he was even talking about if he was able to do anything at all. He was just excited. But when we face that situation with real users, it doesn't work like that. People complain about them whenever they find that they are not succeeding. Okay? So this is from chatbot.fail. I recommend you to visit that page. The second reason about this talk is it's still not clear who is in charge of design and in testing and so on. This is something that happened to me a couple of weeks ago as well. I reported a bug about a chatbot, and the CTO answered me, OK, thank you. The bug has been reported. The QA department wants, and the creative department wants you to come here for a job interview. So who is in charge here? Is it the CTO? Is it the QA department? Is it the creative department? Who should be running tests and who should be worrying about these things that are affecting our users? And the last reason is finding it really difficult to focus on something in this chatbot world. Okay, this is also from chatbot.fail. There are like many things we can do with chatbots. There are like thousands of functionalities, and we never know where should we put in our efforts, because we mainly don't have any way to measure anything. So we just worry about the things that we think we should be worrying. Okay, then. So how can we test them? The big question. Okay, so I use an empiric method. Okay. Which basically, this is taken from Big Bang Theory, probably you know it. These 3 guys discover a technology. In this case, it's an eye scanner. What they do, first time, is just test it. If it works, after testing it, they try it with a harder case. Like this guy with their glasses, will the technology work when someone is wearing glasses? And then they try to break it. What if we put one at each other? Okay, will it work? and the last attempt is like becoming like really crazy. It's like, did they really think about someone doing it the other way around? Okay. So basically, the empiric method is see how it works, test it in possible scenarios, and test it in almost impossible scenarios. Okay. Quick survey here. I think all of you probably raise your hand if you have ever tried to break a chatbot, asking things like really crazy, asking them for dates, telling them that you love them, all those things. Okay, that's great. And that's mainly what I tried to do with chatbottest.com. Write a whole guide of instructions and questions you could do to any chatbot, like these ones. Like say hi to the chatbot. Okay, now that you have said to the chatbot, does he know your name? Does it explain its scope? Most of them are just yes or no questions. So I started the guide. The guide started to grow like this much. Okay, it's about 120 questions right now. Because they were too many, I tried to separate them in different categories that mean something together. And because they were important for the behavior of a chatbot, which are personality, onboarding, understanding, answering and speaking, navigation, error management, and intelligence. I will explain a little bit of each one, and I put some examples because it's the funny thing here. Some of them are doing properly with the situation, and some others are not doing that properly. So for instance, about personality, what should we be testing about the personality? Mainly, does the chatbot have a clear personality that fits with the users and with the ongoing conversation? Okay. Sorry, I'm really fast with the slides. Sorry about the pictures. So what we can be testing here is the strength of the personality, the suitability of the personality, and the adaptability of the personality. And some examples here. Personality of strength. These are all real examples. Okay, so I was talking with this chatbot, and she told me, I'm Anna, a virtual assistant developed for helping inform you about our products. And when I said back, I don't know why, she told me, hello, I am Sarah. So who the hell are you? Okay, are you Anna or are you Sarah? Did they really think about this situation? Actually, this is the one that I reported to the CTO, and she was really thankful. But yeah, I don't know how can this happen. Did you really think about the personality? Probably there's a clear explanation about it, but I usually kind of feel like that. How is anybody going to empathize with something like this that is not even able to remember his own name? Okay, yeah, and then Sarah. Yeah, so quite bad. Okay, about suitability. This is a chatbot that I talked with in Spain. Is in a bar. He told me, I'm sorry, Jesus, I'm having a terrible hangover from last night. Please try it again. I guess you want to see pictures because you can't remember anything, right? I didn't like it at all, okay? I'm not that kind of guy. I don't know if their users are happy with this sort of behavior, but I'm not really confident talking about that chatbot that talks with me like that. So I don't know. Whenever we design a personality, we need to think thoroughly about the people that is going to talk with them. Okay. So bad. And about the adaptability, this is taken also from chatbot.fail. I don't know if you know the example, but yeah, it goes something like, how would you describe the term bot to your grandma? And the user says, my grandma is dead. So the chatbot answers, all right, thank you for your feedback. Okay, like, okay. I know it's quite complicated to deal with these sort of situations, but think about that user that is talking with the chatbot. It's not all right. My grandma is dead. I told you. Okay, so bad as well. About the onboarding. Okay, so our users' understanding was the chatbot about how to interact with him from the very beginning, which is quite important. Examples here. So I say hi to a chatbot, and she answers me inside of a car. I'm Florence, a healthcare bot, type options, and at any time to see them. We could say that, okay, she's kind of explaining what's the scope about, but I'm not really sure what I can ask to her. So I try with something like, can I take 18 aspirins in 2 hours? And says, certainly. Okay. Actually, she only answers you about what is an aspirin, what I have, I don't know, like really simple things. But because they didn't really explain what was it about and what was the scope, they are going to be like thousands of errors that are going to happen. Okay.
About the understanding, what is a chatbot capable to understand? Everything, right? Chatbots are able to understand everything almost. Okay, I did some other categories for testing, which are on the guide, which are accepted inputs, small talk, because everybody loves having small talks with chatbots. Also bad words, love words, language, standard use, typing mistakes, and data validation. Let's see a few examples. So I was talking with this chatbot, which is actually ChatShopper. I said trousers, which is quite normal. They sell clothes and so on. So I said trousers, which is quite normal to misspell some words and things like those. So he's able to understand, which is great. I said trousers because I'm a little bit troll, and he was able to understand as well. So great for chatbot shopper. The best one here is Poncho, we all love, okay, because I told him, what's the weather now in Trollland? And what Poncho says is, it's partly cloudy in Trollhättan. It's great. If you want to find a really weird city in the world, try Poncho, because he's always able to find somewhere, okay? And about the language, we had a talk this morning about how difficult it is to deal with different languages. But this is an interesting case because our chatbots are open in the whole world, and we're going to have users from all over. And they are going to try to talk with them in different languages. So in this case, I was having a conversation in Spanish. I told him, book a flight. I don't know why, because I was talking in Spanish. He said, oh, nice, nice to read some English around. Do you want us to have a conversation in English? Which is great, and there are not many chatbots out there doing this kind of behavior, but it's great. If they are able to cover two languages, they should be able to understand that there is some sort of language change and change to the other language. So yeah, so in this case, I kept speaking Spanish, but yeah. So great. I'm going to drink some water at the same time. But the data validation, this is something that it was solved in Typeforms mainly, and I don't know why. With chatbots, we are having still a lot of problems. In this case, it's like, how many calories did you burn? Troll. He says, awesome. I don't think he didn't understand anything at all. So why didn't do anything with that? I don't know. Yeah, so wrong as well. About the usage of standards. It's getting really common to have some words that are instructions that everybody is starting to use, like menu, like help, like hello, like stop, things like those that are probably come from the developer side, but users are starting to understand that they have a specific behavior. So in this case, this is actually this is the same that is able to understand that you are speaking different languages, but in this case, I told him menu. And because it's for flights, he offered me the menu of the snacks and the drinks and so on. I know it's complicated, but they should be trying to deal with the sort of words because everybody's starting to use them. Sorry. About the category of answering and speaking, also, what elements does the chatbot send and how well it's just doing it? Has to do with usability and how easy it is to understand and to see what a chatbot is showing us. And so, for instance, about interaction elements. I was talking with him. I told him I want another color. It was for my hair, okay? And he asked me, what color do you want? And he's going to offer me several different colors. And what would you expect? Probably a short list, probably rich pattern, quick replies, things like those. And what they offer is something like, oh, the GIF is not working. OK, this was a, OK, yeah, it's a PDF, and the GIFs not working. OK, what they offer here, it was like a really long list with 10 cases. So you needed to scroll up and down. It was unusable at all. Sorry about the example. It was great. OK, about navigation. OK, the fifth category, there's only 2 left, and then we will have beers. Actually, 3 left. Navigation. How easy is to go through the chatbot conversation and its different flows? Okay, I know it's also a really complicated issue because users want to do things that are used to on traditional interfaces, and it's more difficult to do it in a chatbot. But for instance, in this case, Poncho asked me, OK, choose a theme. And I said, Dr. Visit.
give me a friend's name. But then I have second thoughts. I want to change the theme, which is quite normal. We all do. We all have second thoughts, and we want to change something that answered previously. How does Poncho answer? OK, now a weird food. And I want to say, stop, Poncho, stop. But probably Poncho is going to take, stop, please, Poncho, stop. And he's going to take it as the answer for a weird food. So yeah, it's something that they are not, Poncho is great, but they are not dealing properly with the sort of navigation issues where you want to go back or to you want to go, or where you want to go forward, and so on. So bad as well. About the error management, as we've seen, because chatbots doesn't understand everything, we need to be prepared on how to deal with all those errors that are going to happen. So how good is a chatbot dealing with all those errors that are going to happen? So this is another case. I don't understand, which is not really helpful, right? I said, me neither. He said, don't understand. And I said, it's easy. And he said, don't understand. OK, I know he doesn't understand, but probably he can give me a little bit more information. He can try to be a little bit more helpful. What is not he understanding? Probably there is something that he can take from the information that I give him, or at least he can try to offer me something that he is able to do. But just answering, don't understand in a row is like, it's not the best use case. Our users are going to be like forever in this sort of flows. About the intelligence, we've talked already today about how about chatbots, if they need to be intelligent or not. At this point, I'm talking about things like memory, things like understanding context, and so on. I really need a beer. Sorry. So does the chatbot have any intelligence? So I tell him, red trousers. Yes, I'm trying to test context, OK? So I tell him red trousers, because I liked red trousers. I don't know why. Again, he is able to offer me red trousers. Okay? But in normal conversations, we can ask something like shirts with the same color, which everybody here understands that it is red shirts, right? But people is not that specific sometimes. So is it going to able? Is it here we will be able to understand it? No, he doesn't, OK? He offers me something different. OK, so and our users are going to get, like, but I wanted the red ones. Why did you offer me these ones and these not really nice ones? OK, great. So those are like the main categories, the 7 categories that I differentiate on all those 120 questions. So great, Jesus, you save us again. And let's make all those questions to all our chatbots. So I said 120 questions. I tried to use the test with some other designers and some other developers in my company. And they were spending around an hour and 30 minutes for running a test on a chatbot, which was quite frustrating for them and really time-consuming. And besides, they needed to go from Messenger to Google Sheets to run the test and to keep the questions and answer the questions. So I went a little bit further. I developed with a couple of colleagues an extension, a Chrome extension, which is called Alma. And I'm going to drink water again. Alma is taking only 33 questions from all that list. It takes around 20 minutes to complete the test. OK. And what it does is, as I said, a Chrome extension that opens in the right side of your Google Chrome. And you can start the test and at the same test the chatbot, which is easier than having a Google Sheet and the Messenger and so on. So you can run the test there. And that's what I did with a couple of examples with Poncho, which, as you probably know, is ranked first in chatbot, and it's like the chatbot that everybody shows in a representation in the wall. And what I found was something like this, OK? And this is what Alma offers you, this sort of spider, what's the name? A spider. Rather, I don't know if it's a radar. It's more like a spider chart or something like that. Okay, and some insights that I got from that were like, okay, Poncho is great, but Poncho doesn't differentiate what the error was about or what is the stage of the conversation. So he just throws you error messages, which are great, but he doesn't know if you are on a stage or on a different level. And on a flow, as the example we saw before, he doesn't allow you to change your mind and go steps back. And a funny thing is he never tries to take you back to its scope. Yeah, you can talk with Poncho about love, you can talk with Poncho about cinema, you can play games on Poncho, but he used to be the weather cat. I don't know why, probably because they are testing different functionalities and so on. When you ask him about love, he never tells you, okay, I'm answering you about love, but listen, I'm a weather chatbot, okay? So let's keep talking about the weather because it's what I'm great about. I did also the test with ChatbotConf, and this is the result there. So it has like less personality. It's not really, it doesn't have that sort of intelligence that I showed you, and it's quite hard understanding as well. And it says there, okay, ChatbotConf is called Emma actually, which is different from ChatbotConf. She doesn't have a picture, doesn't have anything that reminds you to a chatbot. And she barely talks, so it's really difficult to see like any sort of personality there and to empathize with anything like that. Doesn't understand context either, and she doesn't know anything about you. So she doesn't know your name, she doesn't know your city, she doesn't know what time you are, which are really valuable information she could be using to address the better messages for you. Now I hope there is nobody from Poncho and ChatbotConf here. No, I'm kidding. Is Alma saying that Poncho and ChatbotConf are city bots? Nope, obviously no. It's only trying to find areas of improvement, the same way that we are used to with football players. This is Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know if you like it or not, but he's not perfect in everything. If he wants to be better in interceptions, he needs to work on that part, and it's the same with all the chatbots. If they want to be better in any specific category, they need to work on that, on it. So, as I said, Chatbot Test is an open source project. I think that I said it. It's in GitHub. You can collaborate. You can take any question from there. It's everything for free, and you can send your own questions you normally do to chatbots. And you can tweet me or you can read me right there and almost there if you want. Okay, so if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Thank you again for a really fascinating call to discussion. Sorry, the thing you revealed about Poncho was that they didn't have this back functionality. It's quite a specific question, but I've never seen anyone handle that, and programmatically it's really painful. Have you seen anyone that's done that well?
No, really. Yeah, it's true. I'm normally give talks about chatbots, and what I say is technology is still having a hard problem, and they are like really difficult problems to solve. And that specific one, like language and like many other things, chatbots are still having problems dealing with. So yeah, no, I don't remember right now anyone that allows you to go back. You know. I've seen a few ones that allow you to skip steps, which is great as well. No, like okay, I want Poncho itself. I want the hourly forecast in Madrid, which is great. You don't need to say I want the weather in Madrid, and now I want the weather in the hourly forecast in Madrid. You know, so you can skip steps, which is great.
Hi. First of all, thanks. It was informative and humorous. So
that's what I wanted.
Yeah. So I was just wondering about this pretty much last slide that you showed, where you said the shopbot doesn't know anything, Emma, or what she was called, doesn't know anything about the user or about you. Isn't that kind of a thin line between kind of embedding the user into a context and being like a creepy, shitty bot?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's an interesting question. But I think you can use some information without being creepy. Only being able to differentiate if I'm a man or a woman, I think it would be helpful for him. Knowing, well, yeah, it's always there, that thin line. But nowadays, Facebook allows you to have like a lot of information. There are like many people out there using that information. I don't think we really worry. A lot of people don't worry about Google having a lot of information about us and using that information in for them and for helping us. So, yeah, but the thin line is there, and we will see what happens in the future. Yeah, thank you.
Hi. Thank you so much for such a great and entertaining talk. I was wondering, quite early on, you mentioned this, I think it was the appropriateness of the tone of the bot.
Pardon?
The appropriateness, like that it was saying, I'm hungover,
yeah.
you know,
yeah.
and actually this is one of the main reasons that I stopped using chatbots. The personality is overwhelming and not to my liking, but I love what the chatbot does. So what I'm wondering is, how do you deal with this? How can we as developers deal with this? How can the user give us feedback on, you know, our chatbot's personality is repulsive and it should be turned off?
Yeah, as far as I know nowadays, there are not any chatbot out there that has multiple personalities, but there is going to arrive anytime soon. It's not that difficult to understand using that information that that colleague doesn't want to use. You can know a lot about users, and if he knows what's your age, what's your gender, what you like on Facebook, he could adapt more to the personality to yours. Besides, what we are doing nowadays is doing some research about our potential users and adapt the personality to them. But that it can work, but there are always examples of people that don't fit with each other. But it's actually an unsolved problem, I think, until we work better with artificial intelligence and so on. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, if there are no more questions, I'm going to say, Jesus, thank you very much for an indeed very entertaining but informing talk. Give it up, thank you.
Thank you.